Hey, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of the High Hope podcast. We're so glad everybody's joined us. And before we dive in, we want to introduce a few members of our core team. There are a few that aren't here. You'll be meeting them very soon. But first and foremost, I'd like everyone to say hello to my wife, Leanne Long.
Hello, everybody.
And then we have Mr. Gavin Leverich.
How's it going, everybody?
And then last but not least, we are very blessed to have Terry Fisher. That's going to be explaining a little later about our connection weekends and how that kind of came about. But before we get into that, we want to just kind of talk and let you guys know what to be expecting.
Hey, everybody. I'm excited to share it with everyone.
And that's right. We've been out speaking at churches and working one-on-one with some individuals. And most importantly, we have been seeking the Lord so that we can really get some direction for this year. And
God's been really faithful to us in the direction that we've been trying to find where we're going to take High Hope, what we can do to serve our communities and the people that are hurting. The more faithful that we have been to God, I found that He's been faithful to us and showing us the directions that we need to go to fulfill the mission that He set for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's for everyone. That's for the people that have walked away, if you've walked away. Or I know a lot of times there's those silent pew struggles where you're sitting on the pew, you're going to church, you're in the motions, and you're going through those same struggles. So the High Hope Ministry is for every one of us.
Yeah, you're exactly right, Terry, because we're all walking through something, and our heart has always been with people like me who've walked away from God. But as Terry said, there's so many of us who are still coming to church but are facing life issues. So what we're building here at High Hope is we're trying to really build a community of overcomers and professionals. You know, there are a lot of people who are currently struggling, who have struggled and that have a great testimony. But we also wanted to bring alongside or some professionals to walk alongside of us that are equipped and credentialed to work with the people who are currently finding themselves in struggles. And that includes some physicians that specialize in addictionology, also some licensed counselors and therapists, some social workers, just people that are when we may not have the expertise in certain areas.
Somebody with the specialty in it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yep.
Exactly.
And we really, really want you guys to be a part of it. And if you have a heart for people that are hurting, there is definitely a place for you here on the High Hope team.
So what you guys can come to expect from us is a new video every 2 weeks, and a part of that video that is going to follow up the original videos that we're going to be doing closed Zoom meetings with the guest that was on the show with us. What our objective in that is to try to give people the opportunity to talk to people who may have walked the path that they are currently walking with the eyes and the ears and the shoes that they walked it in. You know, sometimes the best person to minister to you in the time that you're struggling is somebody who's been right there through it. You know, professionals can be great, but sometimes we have to also have somebody that has the real world experience and can help dig us out of the pit that, you know, we might find ourselves in the time that we're finding in.
Yeah, and another thing we'll be doing is the Connection Weekend, which is a big part of it is house to house. And that came through, I'll give you all a quick story of how it started.
Yes.
That came in a prayer meeting, and we were praying, and there was this lady that she was knocking on the door, and someone went and let her in, and she said that, okay, I knew I could come by here because someone's always praying. And so we prayed for her, and to make that long story short, she ended up praying through and connecting back and coming back to God. It had been years, I want to say over 10 years, since she had even been in a church or prayed. And she prayed through right there in the foyer. And I was like, man, this is so cool. I'd like to see that. You know, I'd like to see that in my life. And I just kind of, you know, brushed it over as a thought. And a few weeks later, in that same prayer meeting, God began to give me the vision for what's house to house, which will be part of Connection Weekend. And what that is, in Acts chapter 2, the last 2 verses, it talks about how they continued steadfastly in the apostles' doctrine, breaking bread from house to house, and praising God. That's paraphrasing, but it was such a revelation for me that. And I was so blessed and thankful that God would give me that, and I'm sure Dustin will tell you about it later. We did a few of them. I do them around town, and we've done a few of them and together, and we'll be bringing that also to Connection Weekend.
It really is an amazing weekend, and the whole idea. I was blown away, as Terry said. I had an opportunity to sit in on a few of these. With Terry, and Leanne's even participated in a couple with Terry, and just seeing people that didn't come to church with us, and even people that were hurting. We hosted one at our house, and we knew some people who were going through some struggles, and we invited them, and just to see them usher in the presence of God for 45 minutes to an hour with just some soft worship and their guitar, but to literally feel the presence of God come in there and see these people weep, that it touched me. And so I started thinking, and I called Terry, and I just kind of started thinking, hey, look, what if we did a Connection Weekend? Would you be willing to kind of incorporate that into High Hope? And he was so willing, and I'm so thankful, because Terry's very busy. He travels and the country and the globe singing, and we're very blessed to have somebody like him. And Leanne has a heart for worship, and she loves it so much. So I said, what if we make a weekend and we do a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Friday night we do. We'll call the weekend Gather and Grow, but house to house will be Friday night, and a local church. Either the pastor or somebody in the church will open up their home, and we'll have Terry and Leanne just come in and do some soft acoustic worship music, and then usher in the presence of God. And it's a great time to bring your family, your neighbors, anybody hurting, people that you just you've been trying to introduce them to Jesus, but they're not going to come to church.
And it's in a setting that's a lot softer. It's not as intimidating as walking into a full-blown church service, all at once.
And if you think about it, whenever Jesus did his first ministry, some of the most powerful, amazing works that he did were in the small, intimate setting of a friend's home.
Yep.
And so that whole concept of being in the privacy and the intimacy of someone's home and what God can do is really powerful. And we're excited for you guys to experience it firsthand.
Oh yeah, and one more thing I want to say. There's also a fellowship aspect, because it's like a potluck. So you bring food, and afterwards everyone talks and fellowships, and that's another way to get people plugged in that aren't part of our church culture. People that it gives something common for everyone.
Well, everybody loves good food.
Yeah, right.
Good
I was about to say,
Amen.
you advertise food, and I'm coming.
Yeah. Good food, good music. Yeah, who can turn that down? So, absolutely. And then our Saturday would be an opportunity to Leanne and Terry would maybe work with the praise team and join them on Sunday morning. And then the pastor may identify 4 to 6 people that I could actually meet with in private on that day that maybe needed some coaching and going through some struggles, and ideally they'd be willing to continue on that journey with me. And then Sunday morning, as I said, Terry and Leanne joined the praise team, and one of our ministers, whether it's me, Gavin, we have, like I said, a few more, would give an encouraging word to the church as Terry and Leanne again join the praise team. So that's a really neat weekend, and we already have a few booked, and we're excited, and we really want to connect with y'all as well. But everything we do flows from a 4-phase process, and you can go on our website and really go in depth with this, but it starts with relationship, which is a huge part of Gather and Grow. That's the main driver behind that. But then recovery, if they're in active addiction, if they're going through some trauma. That's where some of our team of counselors and professionals would come in and maybe help. And then restoration is really where we want to step in and that journey forward, and then release, into their God-given purpose and whatever God's vision and will is for their life. Walk alongside them.
And we can break that down in detail more on our website. That's highhopeministries.com. There's a ton of great resources there, and we're really excited about this opportunity, and we are so excited for what God is doing, and we definitely are going to be in need of your help. So you guys be praying with us. Go to the website, register, follow the movement, and follow, subscribe, like, share. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, YouTube. Help us get this word out there.
And as we meet at different churches and, start to gather and grow, and we're going to have more people on the podcast, we want to take every opportunity that we can to connect with people who need the ministry that God has set in front of us, because we don't really know who on the street, whether they're friends, family, strangers, is going to need the instruction in the ministry that God's put before us.
Right.
That's very good. So good, Gavin. And that brings to mind something else is a curriculum that's actually in the works that several of us that's going to be coming very soon. We're really excited about. You'll want to go to our website. Please register, because that's how you're going to stay in touch with the latest news, events, where we'll be, and get some encouraging texts, devotionals, such as that.
Yeah, so thank you for watching. Thank you for your prayers. We're just getting started. We can't wait to see you online. Can't wait to see you in person. So until then, see you guys.
Thank y'all.